A very good morning, students. Welcome back to Programming for Problem Solving course. In our previous session, we have started the structures concept. We discussed the definition of the structure, how we can use structure in our C program, and using structure, how we can create records, that also we have seen. Okay, we said we have two different approaches in which we can create the structure. The first approach is tagged structures and the other one is type defined structures. We also said in our practice we use type defined structures only. The tagged structures as a programming concept we study or we learn, but when we do the programming we never use these tagged structures, rather we go with this type defined structures only. And I have also shown you why these tagged structures are not having that much importance and why these type defined structures they are used by the programmers when they do the programming development. Okay. So in today's session we move further and we see what different concepts we have to discuss in structures. Yes, in today's session we try to cover the pointers to structures. This is one of the important concept in structures, pointers to structures. Like how we are creating a normal variable to a structure, in that same way we can create a pointer variable to a structure. So before going to that, we need to understand what is a pointer variable. Okay, a pointer, it is also a variable, because in detail we are going to study about these pointers in your 5th unit. But for now I am just giving the introduction to these pointers because we have the concept over here in pointers to structures. So pointer is also a kind of variable only. Okay, yes, it is also capable of storing something. Being a variable, it also holds the memory and it is also capable of storing something into it. Okay, and what something it will store? Whether it will store the value means no, it will not store the regular values or regular data elements, how we do store inside a variable. Okay, a pointer, when we define it, a pointer is a special type of variable. It is not a regular type of variable, rather it is a special type of variable. So inside a pointer, what we store, in the sense we store the address. We will not store the value, rather we store the address. So pointer, it is a special type of variable capable of holding the address. Address of what? Address of your regular variable. So we can say pointers are the indirect ways to access the memory locations. Variables are the direct means or the direct ways to access the memory locations, but whereas pointers, they are the indirect ways. Using pointers we can access the variable content indirectly. So I will show you one simple example over here. Let us say we have a variable integer a. So this variable, a variable of type integer, capable of holding integer data into it, that we know. So if I initialize this variable a, I need one integer value, let us say 20, I am storing into that variable. Okay. So now when it is holding the value 20, in order to access this value, we use the variable name directly. Okay, we use the variable name directly. So let us say if I am printing the value of that a on the output screen, so how I do that one? I use printf followed by %d followed by a. So now on the output screen what you will get? You will get the value of a. On output you will get the value of a, that is 20 you will see. So this is the direct mean of accessing the variable value, direct method of accessing the variable a value. So we have, using pointers, we have the indirect way. So how to declare a pointer? Just put the asterisk after the type name. So this is my type name, integer, and put the asterisk after the type name to create a pointer variable. Now whatever identifier I will take, it will become a pointer variable. So let us say here I am saying APTR because I am going to store the address of A into this variable. I am taking the variable name as pointer variable name as APTR. So now this APTR is capable of holding the address of A variable. So sorry, I should not say A variable because using this I can store the address of any integer type of variable. So this APTR being a pointer of integer type capable of holding the address of integer variable. So now APTR, how to store that address into that variable means, into that pointer variable means APTR is equals to ampersand address operator followed by A. Okay. So now this APTR will hold the address of A. Okay. Addresses every memory location. Remember this one, it is a very, very important point. Whatever memory locations we have in our computer, okay, whatever memory locations we have in our computer, all memory locations will have their unique address. So using the address, we can uniquely identify a particular memory location in the computer. So like the houses in the city, every house, every building block, every house will have its own address. Using that address only, we will identify a particular house inside a city uniquely. So in that same way, when you have the computer memory, every memory block will have its unique address. Using that address only, we will identify that memory block uniquely. Okay, so now when you are storing the address of A into this APTR, so this APTR will hold the address of A now. So using this APTR, I can access that same memory location, that same value over here. So how come means, suppose if using this pointer, if you want to print the value, what you have to do is take the printf statement, printf of, we are printing the integer value only, so percentile D, comma, to get the value from this APTR. APTR is holding address, it is not holding the value. Remember this one, APTR is holding the address. Unlike your A, regular variable, APTR is not holding the value, it is holding the address. So from that address, to retrieve the value, we use the indirection operator, star operator and percent operator. Star operator is indirection operator. From the address to get the value, we use this indirection operator. Okay, and percent operator, it is what we call, it is the address operator. From the variable to get the address, we use this operator, address operator. These two are operators only. So now what I am doing, I am performing the indirection on the address. If you apply the indirection, you will get the value. So that is star APTR, like this, star APTR. Close this one. So what you will get here? Here also you will get the value 20 on the output screen. What is the difference between this and this in the sense? Here using the variable, we are accessing the value directly. But here using the pointer, we are accessing the value indirectly. So this is direct access, this is indirect access. So moreover, when you go for real-time applications, real-time project developments, application developments, they prefer using the pointers only. They don't prefer using the regular variables, because using the memory locations, using pointers, they are the efficient ways. Okay, they are the efficient ways to access the computer memory. So that's the reason pointers are more important than the regular variables in your C programming. Of course, when it comes to the modern programming languages, we have a lot of other ways. So you might have heard the term object, because in computer terminology or in computer science, object will have a very important role. So an object is nothing but it is a kind of pointer in modern programming languages. Okay, so pointer will hold the address, or it acts like a reference to the memory location. Your object is also same thing. It holds the address and it acts like a reference to the memory locations. There are many differences or many similarities we can say between the object and between the pointers, that when it comes in our discussion over there we will do. Okay, so quickly after this we need to go for pointers to structures. Now we got an idea what is a pointer. We need to go for pointers to structures now. How we can do the declaration of a pointer to a structure, and how it is helpful in our program development, and how it is an efficient way to access the structure elements when compared to the regular variables. All those things we will see in today's session. Okay, so quickly, without wasting much of the time, we need to go and we need to see what exactly we have. Yes, here you can see structures can also be accessed using through pointers. Okay, through pointers is nothing but they are the indirect ways. They are not the direct ways, they are the indirect ways. Using pointers is one of the most common methods to reference structure. Okay, so as I said, pointers are the replacements to the object, so they are having their own importance when it comes to the program development or application development, okay, in C language. So next thing we have yeah, here the declaration of a structure we have already seen. Over here type def struct, and I am declaring a sample structure, and using sample, what I have done over here, I have created a variable, sam1 variable, structure variable I have created, sam1 structure variable I have created. Here you can see sample is my structure because I created this using type def. Type def struct, in between the parenthesis, as you can see, I have declared many different variables, that is x, y, t, u. X is of type integer, y is also type integer, t is of type float, u is of type character, or I mean this type of structure we have seen in our last class as well. Okay, so now this sample, using this sample type, structure type, I am creating a variable sam1. Sam1 is my structure type of variable. Okay, next I am creating another variable ptr. This ptr is not the regular structure variable, it is a pointer structure. It is a pointer to structure. So in this we can store the address of a structure. Okay, address of a structure. Storing the address of a structure is nothing but storing the address of a structure variable. So now this ptr can hold the address of sam1. That is what I mean to say. In this ptr, what we are doing, we are storing the address of sam1, that you can see over here. Ptr is equals to ampersand sam1 we are saying. So when I am saying ampersand sam1, what does it mean? It is holding the ampersand sam1. What it will give? It will give the address over here. It will give the address, and that address we are storing into this pointer ptr. So now using this ptr, I can access all the elements from my structure. So if I use sam1 to access the elements, it will become the direct approach, and if I use the ptr to access the elements, it will become the indirect approach. So you just remember this one. So here I have shown you with the help of a diagram what sam1 is holding. sam1 is holding variable x, variable y, variable t, and variable u. All these things it is holding. In the same way, yeah, if you access these elements using sam1, you have to use the dot operator. Okay, you have to use the dot operator. That is something like this. sam1 dot x. This we have done in the last session. sam2 dot x. Sam1 dot y. Then sam1 dot t. Okay, then sam1 dot u. Like this we have done in my previous session. But now we have a pointer ptr. So as you know, in order to access the value using the pointer, what we have to do, we have to apply the indirection, isn't it? We have to apply the indirection. That indirection on what we have to apply? Do we have to apply on the value? No, we have to apply only on the pointer. So my pointer is ptr. Okay, ptr is holding the address, sam1's address. So I have to apply the indirection on ptr only. So star ptr will give you the indirection, and if you put dot y, that will give you the value from that y variable. So star ptr is giving the indirection, dot x is giving the value. So likewise, so in order to access in the indirect way, in order to access, you need to apply the star indirection only on the pointer. So we are keeping this parenthesis in order to avoid the confusion. We are keeping the parenthesis, and moreover, your dot operator is having the more precedence than the star operator. Your dot operator is having the more precedence than the star operator. So if you put like this, star ptr dot x, what it will do? It will give a wrong meaning over here. First, the dot operator will be applied and then the star operator will be applied. Okay, this will gain the priority. So, dot operator will be applied first and then the star operator will be applied. So, that is not our intention. Our intention is we want to apply the star operator first on the PTR and then the dot operator. So, using parenthesis, what we are doing? We are overriding that precedence. Overriding the precedence of dot operator to, star operator on the dot operator. So, now what will happen? If you apply like this, then star operator will get the priority. So, star operator will be applied first, then the dot operator. Okay, parenthesis, why we are using over here this parenthesis set of brackets? To override the precedence value. Override the precedence value of star operator. That is, star operator is nothing but indirect selection operator. So, yes, this is another thing. Yeah, over here you can see in detail. So, sample star PTR we have created, and using that PTR in order to access the elements from the structure in an indirect way, what we have done? PTR is equals to ampersand SAM1 we said. So, storing the address of SAM1 into this PTR. So, this SAM1 is of what type? Is of structure type. Okay. So, next thing, using this PTR to access the elements. So, this P must be small over here. Okay. Using this PTR to access the elements, these are our ways: star PTR dot X, star PTR dot Y, star PTR dot T, and star PTR dot U. And the need of this, the need of using this set of parentheses, that also I have already explained. If you don't put that set of parentheses, what will happen? There will be a confusion, and your compiler will evaluate dot first and then the star. That should not happen. Okay. So, the next slide we have. Yes, the same explanation how the dot operator is getting the priority, precedence value more than the indirection operator. So, to avoid that one, what we are doing, instead of writing like this, the same explanation I have given over here. Okay. Okay, the dot operator and the star operator. We have two things over here. Star operator. Dot operator is the direct selection operator and star operator is the indirection operator. Dot operator is having the more precedence value than the star operator, precedence than the star operator. So, what will happen? In general, dot will be evaluated first and then the star will be evaluated next. So, to override that one, we are using this set of parentheses. So, parentheses, what they will do? They will override the precedence. So, if you do like this, it is wrong. If you do like this also, this is also wrong. So, that what we have to do, we have to put, the same way how we used in our previous slide. That is, we need to apply the star only on the PTR and then put the parenthesis and then dot, then followed by the data field value, field name. Okay, like that we have to. Okay, hopefully you understood. So, then we have, yeah, we have. Yes, to avoid the above confusion, see over here we are using many different operators over there. When you are writing that statement, in order to access the structure fields indirectly, many different operators we are using. We are using 3 different operators and 2 different identifiers we are using in that single field. I will show you what are my identifiers and what are my operators over there when I am accessing my structure fields using the pointer. So, we said open parenthesis star PTR close parenthesis dot X. Like this we have written the statement in order to access the field indirectly from the structure. So, now what are my operators? We have the parenthesis, set of parentheses. This is my first operator. Then we have star. This is my second operator. Then we have dot. This is my third operator and 2 identifiers. This PTR is my first identifier and this X is my second identifier. 2 identifiers and 3 operators we are having in this single statement. So, a lot of confusion whether to use the parenthesis, whether to use the star, where to put the dot and how to use the identifier, which one should come first and which one should come next. A lot of confusion is there in writing this single statement, simple statement. So, to avoid this confusion, to avoid the usage of dot operator, arrow operator, indirect selection operator, parenthesis, identifiers, we have a special type of operator. Whenever you have a structure pointer, we have a special type of operator to access the fields indirectly. Okay, to access the fields indirectly, and we call that operator as indirection operator. That operator sign is arrow, like an arrow. We have to give hyphen followed by the greater than symbol, like this. We have to give hyphen, then followed by the greater than symbol. We call this operator as arrow operator. Arrow, it is something like an arrow. This symbol, it is representing like an arrow. So we call this operator as arrow operator, and this arrow operator, it is having a special name, like we call it as an indirection operator. Indirection operator. Hopefully you understood. Indirection operator. So now our things are more easy. Having this indirection operator in hand, our things are more easy now. So no need to go for all these complex stuff directly, confusing stuff. Directly you can use that arrow operator whenever you have a structure pointer. So to show that one here, yes, that same PTR you take of type sample. We declared of type sample, isn't it? Sample star we said. Sample star PTR. So in this PTR, what we have done? PTR, we stored the address of SAM1. SAM1. So now, in order to access the elements from this sample structure using this PTR, I hope you remember this sample structure we discussed in our previous slides. So to store the, to access the elements, to access the fields from this PTR, what we do? Like this, star PTR, it is a confusing way, we said. So to simulate this one, I mean, to have a similar option or to have the same option, we have this arrow operator. So that arrow operator, how come we can use? PTR arrow X. So this and this both are same. This is using the indirect selection operator and followed by the indirection operator. Here directly we are using the arrow operator. You can access all the elements from the structure, all the fields from the structure. Hopefully you understood this one. So the next thing, here that same direct selection, indirection and indirect selection. Using indirection, we said it is not the suitable way because we have a lot of confusion over here. So which one to use first and which one to use next, we have a lot of confusion. And this is the direct selection when you have the structure variable. And these two are when you have the structure pointer, but this is not the proper way and this is the right way, using the indirect selection. The names are quite similar, so you have to pay the attention over here. Direct selection operator, indirection operator and indirect selection operator. Okay, direct selection operator in the sense dot, indirection operator in the sense asterisk, that star what we are drawing, okay, what we are keeping over here. Then we have the indirection operator, that is nothing but the indirect selection operator, that is nothing but the arrow. Okay, arrow is indirect selection operator. You have the structure to access the values, you can relate, I mean you can write all the statements over here. So I will show you one by one. When you have these things, how you can access. When you have the dot directly here, they have shown. So to access X, SAM1.X, to access Y, SAM1.Y, to access the T, SAM1.T, SAM1.T, and to access U, SAM1.U. Like this we have. Okay. When you have the indirect selection, indirection, it is the complex way. Star PTR, already they have shown here. X, then star PTR dot Y, then star PTR dot T, then finally star PTR dot U. Okay, when you have the indirect selection operator, the arrow operator, our stuff is very easy over here. Simply put PTR arrow X. This arrow, how we can use from the keyboard? Put the hyphen, then greater than symbol. Okay, then PTR arrow Y, PTR arrow T, PTR arrow U. Likewise, you can access all the elements from the structure. Clear? So, yeah, hopefully we will do one program and we will conclude our session. So here I need to demonstrate this thing on our Dev CPP. So let me just open my Dev CPP. Yeah, here we have our compiler, Dev CPP compiler. So let me just type that program. So same thing, what I have to do, I need to declare my sample structure. I need to create the variable of that sample structure. I need to create a pointer to that sample structure, and then store the address of structure variable into that pointer, and using that pointer I will show you how we can access all the elements on the output screen. So very simple concept. So just let me start writing the program. So we need to put hash include stdio.h. Okay, then put your structure main function int main of void. Okay, like this. Then here before the main, what we have to do, declare the sample structure. Okay, that is how we can type def followed by struct. Okay, then in it you put all the variables, integer x, integer y, then we took character float, right, float t, character u. So this is my structure, and my structure name I am giving like sample. Sample is my structure name, all capital letters. Now you create the variable of that sample into the main function. Sample sam1 we have created. Next thing, we need to create the pointer also. Sample star, isn't it? Sample star ptr. ptr is my pointer now. Now store the address of sam1 into ptr. How come? ptr is equals to ampersand sam1. Okay. Next thing, using the ptr how we can access, and using that sam1 how we can access, and using the indirection operator how we can access, all that thing I will show you. Simply put first one printf. I am showing direct selection. Okay. So direct selection is nothing but using the dot operator, isn't it? Direct selection. What are my conversion codes? Two integers, percentile d, percentile d. One float, percentile f. Other one character, percentile c. Now pass all those things. How you can access in direct selection? sam1 dot x, comma sam1 dot y, comma sam1 dot t, I guess, isn't it? T. Then sam1 dot u. Go to the end and put the semicolon. Put the semicolon. Next, second line. So printf. After direct selection we have the indirection. Indirection means using asterisk. Indirection, that is star d, percentile d, percentile d, percentile f, and percentile c. Okay, put the same values, but now we need to be very cautious. Star ptr dot x, isn't it? Dot x. Remove this one, small x. Then comma, another one, star ptr, okay, star ptr dot y. We're going to use y. Then star ptr, okay, dot t, and finally the star ptr, take into parenthesis, star ptr dot, after t it is u. Okay. So like this we can print all the values. Okay, but first of all, when you have created the structure, we need to pass the values as well. Okay, we need to pass the values here, equals to initialize the values. Okay, the first value, integer value, we are keeping 23. Second value 42. Third value is what? Third value is float. So I am keeping 3.75, and the last value, it is an integer. So I am keeping, sorry, it is a character. So I am keeping, let us say p. Last character value I am keeping like p. Okay, at the end semicolon is there. Come down and here go to the end and see what we have. Yeah, semicolon we kept. Last one is printf. After indirect selection, after indirect selection now. Indirect selection. Okay, what are they? First one percentile D, second one percentile D, third one percentile F, and last one is percentile C, comma, and pass the values now. How come? Indirect selection, in the sense we have to use the arrow operator now. So here we use the dot operator, here we used the indirection operator, and now we should supposed to use the arrow operator. Over here we should supposed to use the arrow operator to print. So what is that? So arrow operator, how we can use? PTR arrow X. Okay, accessing X is over. Next, PTR arrow Y. Okay, next thing, PTR arrow, after Y we have what is that? T, float we are printing, right? So T, and then the last one, PTR arrow, the last one, that is U. Okay, go to the end and put the semicolon. Go to the end and put the semicolon. Now save the file, give some name over here like structure PRG, structure program .c, hit enter, program got saved. Okay, program got saved. Now go to compile. As you can see, compilation is successful. We are not getting any issues over here. So whatever program we typed, it is absolutely correct. So here, as you can see, we created the structure first, and then we created inside main, we created the variable of structure sam1 with values. Then we have created the pointer. Then we stored the address of sam1 into that pointer, and using direct selection we printed all the values. Direct selection is nothing but using the dot operator. Then indirect selection, we printed all the values. Indirection, that is nothing but the star, that is the final. Then the final one, the last one, that is the indirect selection operator, that is arrow operator. We used all the things to print all the values on the output screen. So let's just go and execute. See here, we are seeing all the values in one single line. So to how to get all the values in different lines, in the sense we need to put \n. Over here I am keeping \n. Here you should put another \n. And lastly, here also you need to put the \n. So now what will happen? You will get all these values in separate lines. So compile this program, compilation successful. Now you execute. As you can see, we got all the values, all same values, because we are accessing all these values from the same structure variable. But just we have used the different means to access the values, but we are accessing the same values. So the first approach is using direct selection, the second approach is indirection, and the third approach is indirect selection. Hopefully you understood this one. Okay, so quickly go to the next one. What we have? Yeah, this demonstration I have done. Then we have the complex structures concept. So complex structures, like we have 4 different types of complex structures. So when you call a structure as a complex structure, in the sense when its construction or when its creation will become too complex. Okay, too complex in the sense unlike a normal structure, it will become something more. So what something more, in the sense, yeah, we have 4 different types of complex structures. The nested structures, then structures containing arrays, then structures containing pointers, and array of structures. So among these 4, we can expect one LAQ, and that too from this last concept, array of structures. It is a very important LAQ in your what we call external exams. Definitely you will get one question from this one, from this concept. Okay, so one by one we will practice all. We will see what is a nested structure, what is a structure containing arrays, what is structure containing pointers, and the last one, what is array of structures, from our next session onwards. Okay, we'll go to these concepts in our next session, and hopefully I will take another session only to complete these complex structures, and after that one more session for recursion, and with that we conclude your fourth unit. Okay, this is fourth unit. Okay, we are already in fourth unit. With that, we conclude your fourth unit, and in your fifth unit, again we have the concept of pointers and then the files. Only these many concepts left out. Then we practice the university question paper. That is very, very important, and if possible, I try to cover my what we call my question bank as well. Okay, because last time, if you open the question paper of last semester, that is your CSC students, whatever they have written, that question paper, if you see many of the questions in that question paper, I can say that 75 to 80% of the questions, they came from my question bank only. Only few questions they have just twisted. The concept is same, but they have just twisted the question type. Okay. So both from each unit, both LAQs, SAQs, we try to practice. Hopefully you understood. Okay. Thank you very much, students.